Okay, my name is Sergeant John MacLellan of the Watertown Police Department. I am a night patrol supervisor. I work the 4 to midnight shift and the overnight shifts. I've been a police officer in Watertown for 24 years. I've been a street supervisor for 5 years. I was a patrolman. I was a motorcycle officer for 12 years. And I've been a night patrol supervisor for the last 5 years.
Okay, so can you describe to me exactly what happened during that night of the incident?
We had a call for a MIT officer that was shot and killed in Cambridge. And we also had a call almost simultaneously for a carjacking in Cambridge. At the time, they didn't know it was connected. We do know now that it was. The car that was carjacked in Cambridge, the gentleman was carjacked at gunpoint. He was taken hostage, and he was taken around for about an hour. He escaped from the vehicle, and the bad guys, the 2 suspects, took off in his car. And luckily, we had GPS in the vehicle. The vehicle was tracked to Watertown. We got a call from the Cambridge PD that the vehicle was in Watertown, stopped in front of 61 Dexter Ave. We showed up to 61 Dexter Ave. As we're coming here, they updated us saying the car was on the move now, that it was in front of 89, and it was going towards Arsenal Street. Myself and Officer Reynolds responded. We came to this intersection. Officer Reynolds attempted to pull the Mercedes over, and one of the bad guys got out with a handgun and started firing at Officer Reynolds. Officer Reynolds put his vehicle in reverse back to this area, and as I was coming around the corner, we had an officer, the Tamerlan turns to me and fires a shot at me, fires a shot through my windshield. I get glass sprayed at me from my face. I put my vehicle in park, try to get my patrol rifle out. I couldn't get my patrol rifle. My patrol rifle wouldn't release from the locking mechanism. I decided I could hear the bullets hitting my vehicle. I was afraid he was getting too close to me. Put the vehicle in drive, and I jumped out. Let the vehicle ride down Ghost, what we call Ghost. No one in the vehicle. And what I wanted to happen happened. They started engaging the vehicle, thinking there was a police officer in it, shooting at it. They actually threw a bomb at it, blew out the windows on one side of the vehicle. And I took cover behind this tree that we have over here on the left-hand side of the road, and I fired all my rounds from there. Myself and Officer Reynolds were on scene for approximately 3 minutes, and then we had Sergeant Pugilis, Officer Menton, and Officer Cologne show up. They show up here. They join the firefight. It goes on for another 5 minutes, and we get Officer Zango. We get Officer Cormick, who's only been on the job for 4 months, and Officer Cormick, Officer Zango show up, and Officer John Sarkeesian show up on scene, and we join the firefight. The firefight goes on for about 7.5 minutes. Sergeant Pugilis draws one of the bad guys out from behind the car, has a gunfight with him. The bad guy comes running up the middle of the street. We draw down on him. Sergeant Pugilis tackles him. I join in. We try to effect an arrest on the ground. He's been shot 8 times. He's got 8 bullet holes in him. And as we're trying to arrest him, I hear Sarge, bad guy coming. I look up, and here comes the vehicle coming towards me. It was a Mercedes, 2013 Mercedes, coming full speed at us. We jump up. I jump up. Sergeant Pugilis jumps up, and he runs over the bad guy. At that point, I think he thought we were doing CPR to a police officer because we were yelling that there was an officer down. So I believe he thought that it was 3 police officers in the middle of the road, and he was going to try to kill us all. Luckily, we got up, and the only person that got hurt was the bad guy. The vehicle took off through this intersection and left westbound on Laurel Street through the intersection.
So from the experience, how do you feel? When it actually was going down, what was in your head?
Well, when it was going on, to tell you the truth, didn't really have any. The only thoughts I had in my head was keeping myself and my guys safe, making sure that we tried to stop this threat. I mean, these people were throwing bombs. They were, firing weapons indiscriminately. I was afraid that people were going to get hurt, that people in their houses were going to get hurt, that my offices were going to get hurt. So my biggest thought was to, minimize that. Nice to see you, sir. To minimize the threat. Try to do the best we could. Try to end this as quick as possible with the least amount of people getting hurt. The training, my training obviously kicked in. I mean, I was, at one time, I was giving information to the control and firing my weapon at the same time, telling officers to stay away from Quimby Street, which is our backdrop. That's Quimby Street down there. We're shooting towards there. So I'm telling people, keep all officers away from Quimby Street. We don't want any officers down on Quimby Street, because if they start ending up down there and they're shooting at the bad guys, every round they miss is coming to us. So you don't want officers on each side of the street shooting at each other. So that helped a lot. That was my training. That's definitely training that kicked in. I don't remember thinking it just came out. And that's why we train so much as police officers, because it becomes what they call muscle memory. And instead of having to think about it, you just do it. It's like tying your shoe. You don't say, okay, I have to cross the right over the left, and I have to make a loop. You just go boop, 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 and do it. You don't think of it. It just gets done. And that's the same thing with muscle memory, and that's the same thing with our training.
And as for the residents here, I mean, were they cooperative? Are they like all indoors?
They did. They all stayed indoors. We had a couple of people, poking their heads out. Are you guys all right? Do you need help? I mean, I didn't want them doing that during the firefight. I mean, afterwards, of course, and, I still were worried about them because we had unexploded ordinances in the street. But everybody was very helpful. I mean, everybody in this town, and especially in this neighborhood, they went through a lot. I mean, these people went through a lot as civilians. I mean, I get paid to do this. That's my job. These people shouldn't have to go through this, and it was a very hard situation for them. But I think they did a wonderful job. They did a wonderful job.